Okay, doing a roof of preventative maintenance. I pulled the disconnect on this one, discharging the capacitor. So I'm actually going to be showing you on a different unit, but I wanted to go over the preliminary, pulling the disconnect and discharging the capacitors, and then taking off the start wires for the fan and the HERM and the hard start kit. So we discharge capacitor. Capacitor holds a charge in it even after the power is disconnected. And now what I want to do is disconnect just the start wires. So I disconnected the fan start wire, which is the brown. The brown and white is the common for the capacitor. And then on this deal, we're going to disconnect the HERM side, which is for Goodman or Janitrol is usually a yellow wire, and we'll leave the commons connected. Okay, now we can test. It really doesn't matter. It can be one side or the other. But okay. And one bad here. .7, that's not good. Bad cap. So on this roof, I've been checking them 2 at a time. You can see the disconnects pulled on the right-hand side. Pulled both disconnects since the units are right next to each other. You can do them 1 at a time, but when it's like this, it's kind of convenient 35 to pull them both and test them both at the same time. Cleared everything off a bit. .7, bad cap. Here's the 5. It tested fine. The hard start kit tested fine. And the fan cap's good. We disconnected the yellow start wire for the compressor, and that same for the hard start kit, and the brown fan wire for the fan start wire, leaving all the commons connected. It's about the fastest way to check these. Going from common to the HERM start. 39.58, it's good. Common to the fan start. This Goodman AC unit has a dual cap, and the Janitrol unit I checked earlier has the fan capacitor separate. 4.88, it's good. Within 5% of the total. So for the 40 side would be, just check this. Hard start kit also, but 38 to 42 would be good on the capacitor, and then 4.75 to 5.25 on the fan side. Okay, we're going to go 1 lead to the hard start kit, and then 1 lead to the common of the hard start kit. And between 45 and like 55 is good. 48.5 is good. All right. So this one's good. And ready to hook it back up. Yeah, I like to position them where it'll be easy for next year to test them. And that one's ready. Okay. All right. So this capacitor is bad. So in 2018, I tested all the capacitors, tightened all the incoming voltage. The following year, I didn't have to replace a single compressor or a single condenser unit. And last year, 2019, I had the whole year, I wound up replacing 4 compressors. Well, to make a long story short, on the last one, I replaced the compressor. Now, I guess I'll keep the long story a little longer. I replaced the compressor, and it started overheating with a brand new compressor. And I was racking my brain trying to fix it, trying to figure out what was going on. Why was this thing going out with a brand new compressor? Here's our new capacitor. Well, what it wound up being, long story short, is the condenser coils needed to be cleaned. Clean the coils, no more overheating compressor. They looked clean. They visually looked clean, but they were keeping the thing from breathing. And anyway. So this year I have cleaned all the coils, or we have cleaned all the coils, and now I'm replacing the testing and replacing the capacitors as needed. And my suspicion is I would not have needed to replace these capacitors, and I probably wouldn't have had so many compressors go out last year if I had cleaned those coils. So as part of the preventative maintenance plan is clean the coils first, test all the electrical capacitors second, and hand baffles, make sure all these are tight, replace what's needed. Make sure your incoming connections are all tight. And then last would be checking the refrigerant charges. And of course first would be changing the air filters. Those are just your regular deals. And then testing your pressures. Checking pressures last as far as order of importance. But that's what's really going to make you have a really good summer. As far as not so many air conditioner problems. So I'm plugging my unit back in. And then manually I'm going to push in the contactor, just verify everything operates like it should. We're all new. Alright, that one's good. The line flashed. And next one. Same deal. Just felt a little cold, and I can put it back together, and that's it for these two. Have a good summer. You know, and it may not have been the coils dirty. It may just be, you know, the unit's old. But my suspicion is that I can prevent a lot by doing all those things, and it's definitely to minimize the amount of times you get called out or get called off for other things, and going to minimize how much you're up on the roof when it's 120 degrees. Definitely a lot nicer now. It's January right now, so get ahead of these things and just going to have a much better summer. It's going to be much better. Can't prevent everything, but can prevent a huge amount of it. It's amazing the difference once it's done. And you don't know what life's going to bring you as far as the challenges that be, so it's just nice to get ahead of things if possible. You can't always do things the way that you want to, but when you can, it's nice. It makes a big difference. The more you can get it preventative wise, the less trouble you can have.